Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So in this video, we will be presenting about our final project for Varieties of English. In this presentation, we will explore three main topics, which is the expanding influence of the English language, the historical and development of English, and the grammatical structure and unique features of English used in our chosen countries, which is Thailand and the Philippines. I am ZAYNAB binti MOHAMAD, and my team members include NOOR, ZAKIAH, MYSHA, AREESA, JAZMINA, KAMILIA, and BATRISYA. Without further ado, let us begin with the first section.
The first country that we choose to analyze is Thailand. We decide to analyze Thai English. Let me first introduce our subject. His name is Ananlup Sutsena, age 20, from Thailand, and first language is Thai language. He is studying in MUHD universities in degree in physics in the Faculty of Science. So you may wonder why we use Thailand English speaker. This is because English in Thailand is considered as EFL, which is English as a foreign language, or in the circle in Cutru's model, it is considered as the expanding circle. Thailand first language influencing English features. Ananlup Susena has a very educated background at high-level schools in Thailand. That's why we choose him.
I will now continue the presentation with the first aspect, which is the expanding influence of English in Thailand. Firstly, the influence of English in Thailand has grown significantly as globalization continues to shape economic, educational, and social priorities. English is widely recognized as the lingua franca of international communication. It plays a crucial role in higher education, global business, technology, and cross-border collaboration. Because of this, there is an increasing demand for English proficiency among Thai students and working professionals. For example, many universities in Thailand require English proficiency tests for admission or graduation. Students who want to pursue higher education abroad must demonstrate strong English skills. Similarly, in the workplace, companies that collaborate with international or foreign partners require employees who can communicate effectively in English. Secondly, the Thai government has responded to this growing influence by incorporating English more systematically into the national education system. English is now introduced at an early stage in school, and it is treated as an essential subject rather than optional skill. As English becomes more central to academic and professional success, many Thai students perceive it as a key to future opportunities. It is no longer just a foreign language subject in school. Instead, it is seen as a necessary tool for career advancement and global mobility. Finally, English does not function only as a formal educational or professional tool. It also plays a practical role in social and cultural engagement. For example, a lot of Thai youth consume English language media such as movies, music, social media content, and online resource. This exposure further strengthens the presence of English in everyday life. Overall, English has developed a multifaceted influence in contemporary Thai society, affecting not only institutions, but also daily communication practices.
English has become widely used because for the globalization, international business, and the internet. Many companies work for foreign partners, so English is necessary for communication.
Okay, for the fifth question, do globalization factors like social medias, international business, movies, or education increase the use of English in your country? Can you give us an example?
Such like globalization increase the use of English. For example, many international brand websites for online course use English. Students also follow global trade through English content. Yeah.
Now, I will move on to the analysis based on the interviewee's response. First of all, our interviewee highlighted that English is crucial for education, business, tourism, and technology. He emphasized that English is important for pursuing higher education and accessing better job opportunities. This supports the idea that English is strongly associated with upward mobility and professional success in Thailand. The subject also mentioned that many companies collaborate with foreign partners. Because of this international cooperation, English becomes necessary for effective communication. This shows how global economic integration increases the practical need for English proficiency. In addition, the subject suggests that exposure to English through media, international brands, and interaction with foreigners reinforce its widespread use. For example, students follow English language media content, which increases their familiarity with the language. In tourist area and airports, English is commonly used as a bridge language to communicate with foreigners. This reflects Thailand's strong tourism industry, where English serves as a common medium of communication across linguistic boundaries. These responses clearly align with the broader findings about the expanding influence of English in Thailand. The subject's perspective confirms that English is not only institutionally promoted, but also socially embedded in daily interactions. In conclusion, English has become increasingly influential in Thailand due to globalization, international business, education system, and tourism. It functions as a tool for academic advancement, a requirement for professional success, and a bridge for social and cultural engagement. The interviewee responses strongly support this analysis, demonstrating that English is deeply integrated into both formal institutions and everyday life in Thailand today.
In tourist area, airport, hotel, and university, English help people understand each other, even if they have different native language.
Moving on with aspect number 2, the history, the development, and the current process of English in Thailand. First, it is important to note that Thailand is unique in Southeast Asia because it was never colonized. As a result, this historical context shaped how English was introduced and used in the country. According to research by Buripakdi 2008, English was initially adopted as a political tool. In particular, the Thai elite used English for diplomacy in order to protect the kingdom from colonization. After the World War II, however, English became more deeply embedded in the education system. By 2019, for example, it was firmly established as part of the national curriculum. Therefore, English plays an essential role in education today. Most Thai students now learn English from an early age as a core subject.
How English was introduced in your country?
English was introduced to Thailand through trade, education, and contact with Western countries. Later, it's become part of the school curriculum.
So how does this match real-life experiences? From local responses, which is Suksena, the picture is quite similar. English came through trade and contact with the West, and it is now taught as a main subject focusing on grammar, reading, writing, and speaking. However, English is still not an official language in Thailand. Instead, it is treated as a foreign language. Therefore, while it is important for education and international communication, it is not commonly used in daily life or government. In conclusion, English in Thailand has shifted from a diplomatic tool in the past to a key school subject today. It is clearly important, yet it remains separate from everyday language use. That is all from aspect number 2.
Or, for example, saying yesterday I go instead of yesterday I went. Yeah.
Now, I will explain aspect 3, which is Thailand English grammatical features. The first feature is tense simplification. In Thai languages, verbs do not change forms. This means that verb stays the same whether it is past tense, present tense, or even future tense. Because of this, when Thai people speak English, they may not change the verb into past tense. For example, instead of saying yesterday I went to school, they will say yesterday I go to school. They also use the word already to show that something is finished. For example, I finished already instead of I have finished. So basically, the tense system becomes simpler because the verb form does not change.
Western country. Later, it's become part of the school curriculum. Yeah.
Next, how is English taught in schools in your country today?
English taught as a main subject for primary school to university. Students learn grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, and speaking skill.
So, how do you describe the current status of English in your country? Is it important, very important, moderately important, or only for education?
English is very important, but it's not for official language. It is mainly
The second feature is the article omission. Article is and the. Thai languages does not have articles like and the. Because of that, Thai speakers often drops articles when speaking English. For example, they may say later it became part of school curriculum instead of saying later it became part of the school curriculum. Another example is but it's not for official language instead of but it's not important for the official language. So articles are often missing because they do not exist in Thai grammar.
Today.
English taught as a main subject for primary school.
The third feature is copula omission. Copula is the verb to be. In Thailand, there is no equivalent verb to be in the present tense when describing something. Because of this, Thai speaker may omit is, am, or are in the sentence. For example, they may say English taught instead of English is taught. Another example is yes, I think that instead of yes, I think that is all. So the verb to be is sometimes removed in Thai English. In conclusion, Thailand English shows grammatical features such as tense simplification, article omission, and copula omission. These features happens because Thai grammar is very different from the standard English. That is all from Thailand English grammatical features. Thank you.
That is all from Thailand. Now let us proceed with the next country. But before I continue, let me introduce the person we interviewed. Her name is Charlene. She is 38 years old from the Philippines and her first language is Tagalog. She works in business administration, so we believe she has a solid professional background.
My name is Charlene and I am 38 years old and I'm from the Philippines. And my first language is Tagalog and I have a background in business administration.
So why did we choose her? First, she is an ESL speaker from the Philippines. In Broadcasters model, this is called the outer circle, so English is widely used there. Because of this, she has the experience in using English beyond just at school. Secondly, since Tagalog is her first language, it influences how she uses English. As a result, her English reflects everyday Philippine English rather than only textbook examples. Last but not least, she works in business administration and therefore uses English regularly for emails, meetings, and presentations. In other words, she uses English in professional, daily life settings. Overall, she was a suitable choice because she brings an outer circle background, Tagalog influence, and regular use of English in daily work.
For aspect 1, I will discuss the expanding influence of English in the Philippines. The presence of English in the Philippines is deeply rooted in history. It was introduced during the American colonial period and gradually became embedded in the country's education system, governance, and media. Because of this historical foundation, English did not remain just a foreign language. Instead, it developed into one of the country's official language and continues to play a central role in national development. Today, English is widely used in higher education, business, and international communication. In school, It functions as a primary medium of instruction, especially in subjects such as science, mathematics, and tertiary level courses. This strengthens its academic status and ensures that students develop English proficiency from an early stage of learning. In addition, the Philippines government reinforced the importance of English through bilingual and multilingual education policies. As the globalization advances, English proficiency has become closely linked to employability. Industries such as business process outsourcing, or other name is BPO, tourism, and overseas employment rely heavily on strong English communication skill. Therefore, English is not only important academically, but it also provides economic advantages and access to global opportunities. Beyond formal institutions, English also shapes everyday life and popular culture in the Philippines. Code-switching practice like Taglish show how English has been naturally integrated into daily conversation, social media, and digital communication. This demonstrates that English is not only a professional tool, but also a part of Filipino identity and cultural hybridity in contemporary society. Now we're moving on to the sub-analysis of the subject's response. The subject mentioned that English is commonly used when communicating with tourists and international colleagues. She shared an experience assisting a Japanese tourist who could not speak Tagalog. In that situation, English became the shared language that enabled effective communication. This example clearly highlights the role of English as a lingua franca, a bridge language between speakers of different linguistic backgrounds. She also emphasized that English proficiency is especially important in call centers and international companies. This reflects the Philippines' strong presence in the global BPO industry, where English fluency is a key requirement for employment. Furthermore, she noted that English is essential for individuals planning to study abroad, as it provides access to international education and academic mobility. This response demonstrates the practical or functional value of English in the Philippines. English supports cross-cultural communication, enhance employability, and enable participants in global networks. It is also not only a language of instructions, but also a language of economic empowerment. Overall, the subject's answer supports scholarly discussion about the continued institutional and economic importance of English in the Philippines. Her response clearly showed that English remains highly influential, particularly in professional, educational, and international contexts.
Now let us proceed with aspect number 2, the history, the development, and the current process of English in Philippines. English first appeared in 1762 when the British briefly occupied Manila. However, it didn't really take hold then. Later in 1901, English became firmly established when American teachers arrived and set up English medium schools. These teachers were known as the Thomasites. Then in 1935, English gained official status. Over time, people adapted it, and Philippines English developed with its own accents and expressions.
To tell us about how English was introduced to your country.
It was introduced during the American colonization. That was in 1906. So when the American came and colonized us, English became one of our official languages in January 1906.
So,
I did have a conversation about this with Charlene, although their dates were a bit off since Charlene says it's on 1906, but it's written in the external source on 1901. The main idea was right, which is English spread during American rule. More importantly, they pointed out that English is used not only in school but also at work and in daily life. So today, English appears in science, media, and everyday conversations. Overall, English first arrived early on, but it really became established in 1901. Since then, it gained official status and developed into a local variety. Therefore, English in the Philippines is not just a school subject, but also a part of everyday communication. That is all from aspect number 2.
Do people in your country use English to communicate with foreigners or people from different language backgrounds?
Yes, we do, especially to tourists or colleagues from other countries.
Moving on to aspect 3, Filipino English grammatical features. This aspect focuses on how English is used in the Philippines and how it differs from standard English due to the influence of local languages. Filipino English has developed through long-term contact between English and various Filipino languages, such as Tagalog and other regional languages. Because of this language contact, English in the Philippines has taken on certain unique grammatical characteristics. Filipino English is commonly used in many important domains, including education, tourism, government, and everyday communication. It is also widely used in the media and in interactions with foreigners. Because English is used so frequently in daily life, Filipino speakers tend to adapt it to suit their communicative needs. As a result, certain grammatical patterns appear that are different from standard English, especially in informal and spoken context. In this presentation, I will discuss 4 main grammatical features of Filipino English.
He go to school yesterday. So instead of using proper past tense in the sentence, we drop the verb tenses.
The second grammatical feature is verb tense simplification. In Filipino English, speakers may use the base form of verbs even when referring to past events. This happens because many Filipino languages do not mark tense through verb inflection in the same way English does. Instead, time is often shown through context or time expressions rather than changes in verb form. For example, a Filipino English sentence might be, he go to school yesterday. In standard English, the correct sentence is, he went to school yesterday. Although the time marker yesterday already indicates that the action happened in the past, standard English still requires the verb to be changed into its past tense form. In Filipino English, however, speakers may feel that the time marker alone is sufficient, so the verb remains in its base form.
I went for my dream holiday in Turkey. It was fun and exciting. I like it.
Well, that
The
is
third grammatical feature is adjective form confusion, particularly between ed and ing adjectives. This confusion usually occurs when speakers describe emotions or feelings. In Filipino English, these adjective forms may be used interchangeably because Filipino languages do not clearly distinguish between adjectives that describe the feelings and adjectives that causes of feelings. For example, a Filipino English sentence may be, it was fun and excited. In standard English, the correct sentence is, it was fun and exciting. In this case, excited should describe how a person feels, while exciting should describe the situation or event. This distinction is sometimes overlooked in Filipino English, leading to adjective form confusion.
So, for example, let's eat sa Wendy's. It means let's eat at Wendy's.
so. Sa means at.
Yes.
The fourth grammatical feature is code switching. Code switching refers to the mixing of English with Filipino words in the same sentence, especially in informal communication. This is a very common practice in the Philippines because most speakers are bilingual or multilingual. For example,
let's eat sawendies. In this sentence, the Filipino word sa is used instead of the English preposition at. This type of mixing happens naturally and allows speakers to express themselves more comfortably and efficiently. In conclusion, Filipino English has distinctive grammar features influenced by local languages. These include preposition variation, verb tense implication, adjective form confusion, and code mixing. These features show how English has been adapted to suit the communicative needs and linguistic background of Filipino speakers, especially when communicating to tourists and other real-life situations when clarity and efficiency are prioritized.